Hello, super quick intro. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can solve the Hanayama Square puzzle in like 2 seconds. Then I'm going to show you how you can put it back together, which is a little bit trickier, putting it back together than taking it apart. And then I'm going to try and explain in the best way that I possibly can how it works and why it works. Because this is a puzzle that people tend to solve, but don't really know why. Myself included, and everyone else who I know who has solved this puzzle before. So first, we'll have a look at how you can disassemble it in the quickest, most efficient way possible. So here is the Hanayama Square puzzle. Now it's one of the biggest and probably one of the prettiest Hanayama puzzles that there is. However, it's not one of my most enjoyable ones, and it's not that satisfying when you solve it, because I've spoken to a few people online and they agree with me in terms of it's just no one's solved it knowing how to solve it. It's always been solved by accident and then figured out how it's solved after, which for me isn't what puzzle solving is about. However, we're going to show you the solution, and it literally takes 2 seconds when you know what you're doing. The first thing we need to do is we need to spot or identify where the writing is on the Hanayama puzzle, and it'll say Square Hanayama just there. Now we want that writing the right way around when we lay the square puzzle down flat on the floor, on the desk, wherever you're doing it. From here we just want to make sure it's completely closed, and then all we have to do is stand the puzzle up on one end. Doesn't matter which end it's stood up on, you could go this way, this way, this way, whichever way you want. And then all you have to do is grab the top 2 corners and separate the entire puzzle from there. Now the reason this solves, and it only solves that way, if I'd have had the writing the other way around, it would not have solved in the same way. And the reason for that is because of these sort of grooves in here. Now, the 2 silver pieces are the same, the 2 gold pieces are exactly the same, and you'll notice the difference between the gold and the silver puzzles is that in the gold bit here, this is just completely hollow with 2 sort of rough ends and nothing else. Whereas on the silver puzzle, the gap, if you like, has a ramp coming up. Now that ramp gets rid of these things in here. Now these are very, very similar to what is in the news puzzle, and these just work on gravity. So if you lay it up this way, it doesn't come out like you can see there, but if we tip it that way, it's there. And essentially the way you solve it is by getting rid of those, or getting those out of the way on every single piece. And when you have the puzzle with the square Hanayama bit the right way around and close it, those ramps have done their jobs and those bits are out of the way. And then all you need to do is tip it right way up, if you like, stand it on its edge and then separate from there. And that way you can't have gravity drop those pins down. And yeah, that's essentially it. Putting it back together is much more tricky than taking it apart. We need to take 1 silver piece, 1 gold piece in our hands. We need to make it so that those pins are out of the way. And then we line these up upright so that those pins stay sort of retracted. And then we just hold that in place there. And we want to get it to a point where we're sort of covering the pins with just the edge. So the pins can't drop down into these gaps. It just makes it a little bit easier to do. So we're going to hold those 2 in position there, and then we're going to do exactly the same with these 2 pieces here. This is what makes it a little bit fidgety. You sort of have to do it in 2 hands at the same time. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to take both pieces, we're going to put them together here, and then we can close it up from there, and we should be back connected and have a fully reassembled Hanayama Square puzzle. So there it is, possibly the simplest solution video I've ever done in terms of the method. Finding it and realizing that's how it solves is a completely different story to actually solving it first time in comparison to solving it every other time after you know the solution. Reassembling it, as I said, is a little bit trickier than taking it apart, but there it is. Now whether you have now solved the puzzle for the first time, or you've realized how and why it solved when you solved it because you didn't know how it solved first time, or how you managed to take it apart first time, which is the same way I did it. fell apart. I had no idea how it worked. It took me a little bit of time to figure out why it worked. Now if you want to see me struggling through the square puzzle for the first time and solving and then the solutions for some of these other Hanayama puzzles, then click those videos over there. You can click my face here to subscribe. And comment below with what you think of the square puzzle, how easy this solution was, and I'll see you next time. Peace!